Hello everyone, I am Shane1288 and welcome to another weekly RuneScape Byte. This week marks the first week after the launch of the mining and smithing rework, and we're certainly having a fun time playing with these two new skills that have been added into the game. This week we're going to have a look at some of the patch notes and some of the fixes that were made to the rework as well as the general patch notes. But first, we're going to have a look at some of the things that might have been missed in our initial pass over the update or on last week's podcast. And we got 3 of them here that can be game-changing depending on your gameplay style. So first up are the Smelting Gauntlets. And the Smelting Gauntlets are the old Gold Smithing Gauntlets that you got from the Family Crest quest. And when you use them and you wear them while smelting, all bars will be automatically deposited into the metal bank, and it'll also allow you to smelt up to 60 bars at one time rather than just 28. Next up is the Crystal Hammer, and the Crystal Hammer is something we didn't talk about last week. It's a tier 70 hammer made from the Elf Crystal Seed, and when you use it, it gives you a plus 1% chance for double progress while smithing. It can also be augmented, allowing you to use perks such as Tinker to further increase the chance of double progress, or Rapid if you're willing to play more actively and gain faster progress overall while smithing. And then, of course, you can earn some invention XP along the way as well by siphoning or even disassembling that hammer. Next up is a rather interesting synergy that wouldn't have been possible going back to December. And, when this update initially came out, we were wondering where we might find a use for this. Well, we have now found one. And in case you're wondering, what I'm referring to is Grace of the Elves. Now, if you combine Superheat form, Grace of the Elves, and a Prayer Renewal potion, you wind up with unlimited Superheat form. Grace of the Elves halves the drain rate of Superheat form, and Superheat form was already one of the slowest draining prayers out there, making the use of a Prayer Renewal now able to recharge the lost prayer points when you're using that. And of course, the reason you want to use Superheat form is because it makes it so that if you're smithing at medium heat, it's as though you're smithing at high heat, and if you're smithing at low heat, it's as though you're smithing at medium. So it's another way you can decrease the intensity of the smithing skill if you so desire, while maintaining decent progress rates. Now moving on to the patch notes for this week. Players can now once again make Alchemical Onyx necklaces at furnaces. There's also now a message when your furnace perk activates while mining. The furnace perk is the perk that allows you to have a chance at generating no progress per swing, but gaining double XP. When having a high-level member's pickaxe on your tool belt in free-to-play, this will now default to Runite. The modified blacksmith's helmet will no longer allow players to make extra bars while smelting Masterwork alloy bars. And all tiers of the Quarrymaster aura have been doubled in their percentage of chance for critical hits while mining. This means that at the ultimate level of a legendary Quarrymaster aura, you'll be getting an additional 10% critical chance. Stone Spirits also now have a higher buy limit of 25,000 on the Grand Exchange. The previous lower buy limit was causing the Stone Spirits to sell for abnormally low prices. Breaking down Torva plate bodies and plate legs to use for trimmed Masterwork armor will now give 5 and 3 pieces of Praesilic essences. This is as designed, but initially players weren't being rewarded the proper amount of essences. The Shooting Star distraction and diversion has been re-enabled. Players who had their custom-fitted trimmed Masterwork set before augmenting them can now repair them at an anvil if they are at 100% charge, and then can augment them again using an invention table. Basically, what was happening here is that you wouldn't be able to augment your Masterwork armor set if you custom-fitted it first. There was also an error that allowed Masterwork armor to be repairable at an anvil, and this was causing issues. This has now been resolved and can no longer be repaired at an anvil. Instead, you should repair your used Masterwork armor at Bob and Lumbridge or at an armor repair stand in your POH. And last but not least in the patch notes here, the ferry near the Zenaris market no longer has a detached antenna. We'll be back this weekend with another episode of RSBANDB Update, further detailing our discoveries of the mining and smithing Rework. And in the meantime, you can head on over to informer.rsbnb.com and check out Tanis's Informer article on the subject, and it is aptly titled Mining and Smithing Rocks. We'll see you this weekend, and in the meantime, if you want to join us in-game, you can find us at Friends Chat Bits Bytes, or you can join our Discord by heading to rsbnb.com/Discord. See you then, everyone.